The museum at Texas Tech and Covenant Children's Hospital have a special collaboration that has developed over the years. They first joined forces in 2019, and since then they've been making sure that kids who may not be able to leave their rooms can still take part in educational activities.
KCBD News Channel 11's Dylan Villa shows us the power of this partnership.
Collaborations take many different shapes and forms, but this one is a little different. Once a month, the museum at Texas Tech stops by Covenant Children's Hospital to take part in interactive learning activities. Christine Neugebauer, manager of integrative care, says being able to provide this to children gives them the ability to learn without any burdens.
A lot of our kids, they're not feeling good, or they're on isolation because of, whether they're going through cancer treatments or they have a virus and we can't spread it around. They have to stay in their room, or they're just not feeling good. We have the ability to basically have the museum event virtual in their own hospital room.
Since the collaboration began in 2019, kids at Covenant Children's have taken part in activities such as making slime and building your own fossil, to even diving into cultures with Native American basket weaving.
We provide holistic care at our hospital. Of course, they're primarily focused on physical healing, but when you're able to participate in these other types of events that are normal and relaxing and can bring joy and excitement, that can also help with their healing. But more importantly, we just want our kids to be kids.
With the power of a live stream, Tuesday's activity looked to bring the solar system right to Channel 80, where kids can paint and learn more about planets from their own hospital room. Alexandra Graham, who works in the education division at the museum at Texas Tech, says coming to the hospital once a month to provide these educational and interactive learning opportunities to kids brings her a lot of joy.
Being able to offer them that little bit of safety, peace, comfort, fun, it's incredibly rewarding, and being able to use the tools that the museum has to be able to meet a community need is also very rewarding as well.
Both Covenant Children's and the museum at Texas Tech are grateful to be partnered together, one smile at a time. Dylan Villa, KCBD News Channel 11.